Race leader right now, Nick Quenet, and this is exactly what he did in Chattanooga not too long ago. So hopefully we see him upright all the way to the end of the race today. I'd love to see him have a great result. South African Nick Quenet leading Boulder 70.3. We'll be right back.
Today's going really well. Nick came out of the water third, just behind Chase McQueen. He's been biking really well, was in the front for a while. I saw him just before he went out on his second lap, but yeah, he's looking really strong, and as Coach Rich says, everything's kind of playing out to plan. He's biking strong, he looks good. He wasn't so nervous this morning, but of course every race comes with a little bit of nerves, but it's a stunning day in Boulder, and yeah, really excited to see how it goes. Nick is running side by side for second with Sam Appleton and Trevor Foley out in front. So it's going to be a fight for the podium with Matt Hansen coming from the back. So, but yeah, super stoked. He's doing so well and sticking to the plan. Doesn't look like he lost any bottles, so that's always a plus.
So Nicholas Quenet doing some of the pace setting there, but if they work together, could they hold off? Certainly they're being mindful of the likes of Matt Hansen, who is trying to dig in and find his way onto the podium. So these two will work together to try to defend themselves from that assault.
Say hi. Do you want me to hold things?
Yeah.
You did so good. I'm so proud of you. You did so good.
Now the Coke as well, please.
On the hunt for a Coke. No Cokes at the finish line. After you finish a race, what is the first thing that you look for?
It's normally a Coke, but the health conscious people of Boulder decided after the race the only thing they'll be able to give you is water. So after racing for nearly 4 hours, you were expected to drink water, but thanks a lot to Hannah for sourcing a Coke, which took 25 minutes from race finish to get into my mouth to get one Coke. So and that was the only Coke they were prepared to give me. I wasn't allowed to get more, so that was a bit strange. But yeah, Coke, and then I tend to like salty things, but after Boulder I felt a bit nauseous, so I didn't really want to eat until like 4 hours later. And then all of a sudden you get like this massive urge to eat anything you see. So I think we smashed your pot there. Later that evening. Well, it was late lunch, early evening, because you race so early in the morning. So yeah, that's my go-to. It's Wednesday. We're driving to Lifetime to go get a swim and gym session in. So we're sitting in Denver traffic though.
How do you feel that Boulder went?
I think it was good. It was a good bounce back from Tennessee. So I'm happy to finish where I did, and first professional race at altitude. So that definitely made it slightly more interesting than a normal sea level race. Yeah, I knew the course really well before, obviously having lived in Boulder for a bit. So it was a good performance across all three. I think it's what I needed to do and the best I could do on the day, so I'm happy with that. I mean, Chattanooga was a totally different race in terms of course, in terms of the field, and I knew it was going to be polar opposites compared to Boulder. So it was a tough period for me after Chattanooga, both physically but more mentally. So this is the last race of my first American trip, so I knew I wanted to end it off on a high before going back to South Africa and just regrouping. So yeah, I think it was important, and I think it worked out very well in the end, so I was happy with that.
Did you change anything from your last race, like in terms of nutrition or hydration?
Yeah, obviously I looked at my nutrition. It wasn't the sole factor in Chattanooga, but I did dial a bit more into that, especially being at altitude. It ended up being quite hot in Boulder. The last couple of days leading into Boulder were heating up. It wasn't as hot on the day, but it was definitely hotter. So obviously that is more tax on the body, so I knew nutrition would play a big role, not to hit that bonk zone. So yeah, everything was slightly more refined going into Boulder. Yeah, this traffic
is really bad.
No one's even moving.
Is there anything else you want to say about Boulder?
Yeah, it was a really nice course. We did do 2 laps of the bike course, so which was quite nice. There were more spectators because the course was obviously smaller. A lot of support along the course, a lot of people shouting, cheering and stuff, which was pretty cool. Yeah, the swim was amazing in the reservoir. The temperature was really good. I believe it could have been a non-wetsuit swim. It was on the border, so in terms of temperature, so that was beautiful. We were swimming while the sun was coming up, so that was pretty spectacular. And then the run course is an interesting one. You go along, probably like 85% of the run is on gravel. So yeah, that's totally different to most races on the circuit.
Do you like it?
Yeah, the majority of the gravel was in good condition. There were some parts where it was a bit corrugated, so that's quite difficult, especially with tired legs, and then trying to find the best traction on the course. But yeah, the rolling hills were interesting as well, and there's very limited shade, so it's quite tough out there. But yeah, it's a very scenic route, obviously, on the run as well, because you're going off-road. And yeah, I think it's a very iconic course because obviously Boulder is very synonymous with the endurance world, so it's a nice place to race well.
Now what are you doing? Are you staying in Denver, or are you going home, or what's your next race?
Traffic jam in Denver. But no, I'm here until the end of this weekend, and then I make the long haul back to South Africa, which is going to probably be I will leave here on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. my flight, and I'll get, well, with time zones, I'll get into South Africa at 9 p.m. South African time on Monday. So it's effectively 2 days of travel, but it's not that long. It's just because of the time zones and 8-hour time difference from Mountain Time to South African time. And then I'm back at home for about 9 days, and then head over to Europe for my next race, which will be in France. I did it last year. I had a good race there last year. It was, if the course is the same, it's a really nice course. It's to swim in the sea, and the bike course is stunning. The run course is also really nice. You run along like the promenade along the seafront, so that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to go back there. The French people will be an interesting one again. The Airbnb policies are quite a lot different to what we know, but after that we'll fly straight from there back to Colorado to prepare for the next races. So it's basically like 2 weeks away from America, and then I'll be back in here. So it's like a short getaway, really. There's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, it really is.